I'd like to show you how to select analyses from the web catalog and display them in Microsoft Excel using the SmartView add-in. I go to the private connections, I select the server I want to access, I insert my password credentials, and now I can open up the web catalog. In the web catalog, I will navigate to the actual dashboard or view which I want to display, and then from there I will choose a compound view, and that compound view allows me to insert all the views into individual slides, or I can put every object onto one particular slide. In this instance, I'll take the latter. I now have all the different reports and graphics from this particular dashboard, and I can move them around and size them as I desire, and I can of course change the formatting. So in this particular instance, I'm going to take the flight delay graphic, I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm going to change the actual display. I don't want to go for this column style format necessarily. I'm going to change that to something more appropriate, and with the airline delay performance, I'm going to actually spread it out and make it much easier to observe. So first off, I'm going to change the display option. I have a number of options available to me, but I've spotted one within the pie chart area which I think would be most appropriate. Now I'm going to actually add the data labels so I can see what percentages are being represented. I'm also going to add in the category names so I know what they're actually referring to. And because things are now a bit crunched up, I'm going to actually resize the graphic so that we have a bit more room, that we can actually more easily interrogate the data. And I want to change the colors as well. So I put on a new background. And on top of that, I've decided I want to also change the prompts. I was looking at delayed flights before, now I'm going to look at the number of flights which are actually going to be represented. Having done that, I've now decided I'm going to make some other changes to page prompts. So I choose a pivot table, and in this instance I've chosen an actual scenario, and I could choose any of the dimension members from the country, but I've just decided to choose them all. And what this has left me with is the profit and loss accounts by quarter for all of the different countries. I've now decided that instead of having the actual results, what I'd like to see is what the variance is against the original plan. So it's going to show gains and deficits. Having now looked at the gains and deficits, I've decided I would like to have the actual scenario back again. So my next phase is to decide to take the very same pivot table, and I'm going to reuse it within the same workspace, the same worksheet. It now opens up. I choose the actual scenario, and again I choose the country or countries I want to display. In this case I'm going to take them all, and there we are. The two tables are shown top and bottom, showing the different data. Now I can look at the document properties in different ways. I could use just the one box at the top and choose that the document contents are going to be shown there, or I can change the document contents below. I go to the properties, it tells me the URL which the report came from, it tells me the table source, it tells me the view source. But the most important part is the way the data is refreshed. I can decide not to refresh data when changes are made, to automatically refresh fact data, or to replace the view where new metadata has been introduced into the report. I can look at the prompt selections which have been made as well. And having done that, I can decide as well to mask the data. The reason for masking data is it's now going to apply each individual's security against the data. So it will now be recognizing my own security levels. So when I refresh, I will only get data back which applies to myself.